We've been battling injuries. It's been a tough year, but we appreciate you guys showing up, showing love every game. You guys are the best fans in the world. We appreciate you guys. And don't get used to the Pacers not playing in April, May, and June. Go Pacers. Appreciate it, guys.
That, of course, was Tyrese Halliburton after the Pacers' regular season finale on Sunday. And welcome, Central Indiana sports fans, to the Central Indiana Sports Report for my new podcast, Greg and His Friends Talk Sports. I'm your host, Greg Mengel, and every weekday afternoon, my friends and I are talking about whatever Central Indiana sports fans are talking about. And coming up today, Monday, April 13, 2026, Rory McIlroy makes history at the Masters, and we'll hear from our golf guy, Griffin Hare, and Tipton Tribune and Elwood Call Leader sports editor, Michelle Garmon, about Sunday at Augusta. The Pacers season mercifully comes to an end, and Mike Rich joins me to talk about one of the most important off seasons in franchise history. And the Fever signed Kelsey, Mitchell, Lexie Hall, and Sophie Cunningham, and added Monique, Billings, and Ty Harris for some depth on what should be a championship contending team. I'll play a clip from Sunday's Fever Report with John, Robertson, and Michelle talking about expectations for this upcoming season. Before we get to all that, I want to let you know about what's going on at the Central Indiana Sports Report. Again, Fever Report with John and Michelle was released on Sunday, as well as a Masters recap with Griffin and Michelle. On Monday evening, possibly Tuesday morning, we'll have our Pacers report with Mike Rich previewing the offseason. And you can expect IU and Purdue reports midweek this week. Our IndyCar report with Elijah Poe previewing Long Beach on Thursday. And Will Rutherford and I will return with our new weekly prediction and debate podcast, Greg versus Will versus the world. Another busy week on the Central Indiana Sports Report. Thank you so much for joining us. My friends and I will be back tomorrow. Rory McIlroy became the fourth golfer ever to win back-to-back Masters titles, joining Jack Nicklaus, Nick Faldo, and Tiger Woods, and his sixth major championship overall after holding off world number one Scottie Scheffler by a stroke in a thrilling Sunday at Augusta National. 11 players finished within 5 shots of McIlroy, including Justin Rose and Cameron Young. Both held leads at times on Sunday and both finished 10 under par, 2 strokes behind McIlroy. Former Tipton and Ball State golf star Griffin Hare and Tipton Tribune and Elwood Call Leader sports editor Michelle Garmon did a full recap of the Masters on Sunday evening. Here's a bit of that. Welcome in now, Griffin and Michelle, and guys, in the end, it ended up being an historic day.
It was a great day. It kept you glued in front of your television till that final putt by Rory.
Yeah, it was a great day. 4 different people had the lead. The twists and turns of the final round of the Masters never really disappoints. It seems to deliver almost every year. It was fantastic, and we watched history again today.
Guys, early Sunday, I was starting to count Rory McIlroy out of this, honestly. I thought he had a Saturday that I thought was going to kind of play with his head, and then early Sunday he lost the lead, and I thought, well, I don't think we're going to have to worry about Rory McIlroy at the top of the leaderboard.
He was great down the stretch. I think winning last year and finally getting over the hump definitely helped him. He had the really bad yesterday, just sloppy. And then he was 2 over through 6 today, and he found himself 3 back at one point. He was 9 under, and I don't remember who was at 12 at that point, but I know he was 3 back, and I was thinking to myself, like, is he done? Is he about to blow a 6-shot lead on Saturday when he teed off? But he was resilient, man. He made some really good pressure shots in the end of the front 9, and then what won him the golf tournament was making a really solid par on 11, which he made double yesterday, hit in the water. And then he took on that pin on 12, which not a lot of guys do, made birdie there. And for the first time all week, he hit it in the fairway on 13 and made birdie there. That's what won him the golf tournament. And after that, it kind of felt like it was in hand unless he did something crazy.
Yeah, he drove the ball much better today, with the exception of that on 18. But his driving on the par 5s were much better today. And don't you think, I really do think his familiarity, having won last year, but just his overall familiarity with the course, after all those years, I think that was beneficial to him today and down the stretch.
Experience goes a long way in this golf tournament. I just finished up watching his post interview after the round with the media, and he said that he learned some from a practice round in 2009 with Tom Watson about where to look like for the wind on number 12. And he referred to him and his caddy were very patient today on 12 because the winds were swirling, and I think it was making it tough down for the second 9. A lot of guys were backing off shots, but he referred to a practice round in 2009, and then he ended up making birdie on that hole. So that kind of proves that having that experience and experiencing some failures in the past, ultimately helped him get over the hump today. I saw a lot of things on social media. I'm sure it'll be a debate here and leading up to the next major. I think it's the PGA is the next major, and then U.S. Open.
That's right. They moved the PGA.
Yep, they did. The PGA is going to be in May this year, which honestly I wouldn't be surprised if he won another one. Early prediction here. He's got all the confidence going. But I think you can argue he's the best European golfer in the modern era. I think it's between him and Nick Faldo. They're tied with 6 majors now. The fact that it took Rory 10 years to win another major, and then once he did, he went back-to-back Masters. Only 4 players have ever done that. I certainly think you can argue he's maybe the best European ever. I think this puts Rory also in the conversation of probably top 10 best players ever. He hasn't only done it on the PGA Tour. As we know, he's a European and he plays on 2 different tours. And I think he's won over 20 times in Europe, and he's won, I think today was his 30th tour win. Like, he's won all over the world. He's a global icon, and not a lot of people can say that.
Again, please go check out that full recap on the Central Indiana Sports Report Network. It is a good one. The excruciating 25-26 Indiana Pacers season has come to an end, mercifully. My friend Mike Rich and I discussed it briefly Sunday night ahead of tonight's Pacers report, where we will review the 26th season briefly, debate who won't be back on the roster next year, talking about important dates and events between now and next season, and debate what seed the Pacers will be in the East playoffs a year from today. You and I, we watched probably more Pacers this year than we should have, but less than we usually do. And honestly, we watched because we're kind of obligated because of what we do, but it was really hard to watch this year.
It got worse and worse and worse as the year progressed. It's just like, oh my gosh, this is just get to the end of the season.
And we're finally there.
And we are. And we didn't break 20 wins.
19 wins is the lowest in franchise history. I remember growing up in a year where I was hoping that they win every night, that they went 22-60, and that was the worst in franchise history. And it's over now, and Mike and I will recap the whole thing for you Monday evening. We will talk about who might not be on the roster next year. We'll talk about important dates between now and next season, and we're going to predict what the Pacers seed will be a year from right now in the NBA playoffs. Mike, let's talk about a couple of dates because as Pacers fans, this offseason is probably going to be more interesting than the past season was.
Oh, the offseason will definitely be more exciting than the season. The season kind of got nerve-wracking kind of the last quarter of the season because you're like, gosh, this team, they made a good trade. Are they gonna go on a run and blow the chance at an opportunity for one of these top 4 picks? And they didn't disappoint us. They didn't disappoint us this year.
Yeah, much to our surprise, Mike, they were fully committed to this tank.
And I'm happy they were. I'm happy that they're giving it every chance they got to get one of those top 4 picks. And there's still a risk there, but pretty good odds to land in the top 4.
52.1%, of course, and we will find out on May 10th. And for now, that's the key date to remember this summer. That's the one. That's where all Pacers fans' attention is right now.
May 10th, and definitely looking forward to that. And I'll pray every night for
That's right.
better outcome than the season was.
Mike, they owe us.
Oh, the NBA owes us. We are due.
And, of course, the other date to remember will be June 24th. That will be the NBA draft. And, Mike, you and I will be talking much more about this Monday night on the Pacers Report. Thanks for your time and safe travels. Again, look for our Pacers Report later Monday or possibly Tuesday. Mike Rich went straight from his military duty over the weekend to a work trip. Monday, it's probably 50-50. The NBA playoffs are set except for the 7 and 8 seeds in each conference. That will be determined Tuesday through Friday in the play-in games. That starts Tuesday with Miami at Charlotte and Portland at Phoenix. The Blazers-Suns winner will be the 7 seed in the West and will face the Spurs in the opening round. On Wednesday, either Orlando or Philly will be the 7 seed, whoever wins that one. In the East, and will face the Celtics, with the losers playing Tuesday's winner on Friday for the 8 seed. The Portland Phoenix loser will play either the Warriors or Clippers at home on Friday for the final spot in the West. That, of course, is the 8 seed. Both series in the West that are also set also begin on Saturday. Nuggets Timberwolves at 3:30. Rockets Lakers, that's LeBron James versus Kevin Durant at 8:30. More on the NBA playoffs on this show and the Central Indiana Sports Report Network throughout the league, throughout the week, and all summer. And Doc Rivers has resigned as Milwaukee's head coach. Man, did that ever not work out. The Indiana Fever will keep its core intact after re-signing Kelsey, Mitchell, Lexie Hall, and Sophie Cunningham over the weekend. They also added Monique Billings and Ty Harris. Billings, a veteran big who spent some time on Team USA, and Harris, a Noblesville native and Heritage Christian grad. And late Sunday, they signed Damiris Dantas to a 2-year deal. And on Monday morning, signed Meagan McConnell, the sister of TJ McConnell, to a training camp contract. We talked about expectations for the 26th season and today's WNBA draft on Sunday's Fever Report with John and Michelle. Here is a bit of that.
I was really happy just sitting around and seeing all the news roll in that the major pieces are getting locked in. We knew Caitlin Clark and we knew Aaliyah Boston were secured. Good to see the signings of Kelsey Mitchell, Lexie Hall, and Monique Billings today. Personally, I'm the happiest about Lexie Hall. I was a little nervous that one wasn't going to get done, but happy to see that one done. But I think Kelsey Mitchell getting the first Supermax in Fever history is a big deal, and I think she deserves it. She was so good last year, and she's been so good for so long that she deserves everything she's getting. And I think that's going to keep her at a 1 year. I don't know if they can keep her much past 1 year, but happy to have her for this upcoming season.
I'm happy too, and she does deserve it. She's been with the Fever the whole time, and through the highs, through the lows, kind of the high of last year, but the injuries made it not quite the season that the Fever had hoped, but still a really good season. And she was a major reason for that, so I was glad to see her get rewarded. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. Give her the Supermax this year, and maybe they can work out a longer-term deal. I'm also pleased with the Billings. I think that's a good move. Her and Caitlin played together for the United States in FIBA here just a couple months ago, so that's good. They've had some experience working together.
She played with Kelsey in Unrivaled.
So she's going to come in kind of knowing how two of her teammates play. And they're going to know how her game, which I think is always a plus.
I was happy to see the front office give Lexie so much love, saying that, like, she's a core piece of the mentality of the team. Like, she's a core piece of, like, what gives the Fever their identity. I've been saying that for a long time. Like, Lexie hustle, Lexie toughness, that's what the whole team's going to have to bring. But I think she's just to see them give her the respect on what she brings, even though it may not always be the most numbers-wise. Yeah. She's a core part of the team.
I think that's what these last couple of days have really shown, that The direction is this core group, and they think it's a championship core for sure.
Oh, Lexie is a huge piece too, John. I didn't mean to gloss over that. I think she is integral because she definitely sets the tone for them on the defensive end of the floor. She sets the tone for them in toughness. She played with Black Eyes last year. She's like I said, the tone setter on the defensive end of the floor. She's that nitty gritty, gutty. You know what? I can take whatever you dish out and dish it right back to you type of player, and I like that.
It's going to hurt my wallet because I'm going to have to buy a bunch more Lexie gear now. So there's that. I heard you said there's a championship run. I think they got a good chance.
Of course, more on the WNBA draft and who the Fever choose on tomorrow's show. The Fever did lose Natasha Howard to the Minnesota Lynx. She signed a $1.4 million contract over 2 years. She averaged 11.4 points last year in Indy. In Major League Baseball, the entire NL Central is within 2 games of each other after the weekend. Pirates are 9 and 6.5 game ahead of the Reds, a full game ahead of the Cardinals and Brewers, and 2 ahead of the Cubs. Cubs beat Pittsburgh 7-6 on Carson Kelly's walk-off RBI single on Sunday, completing a comeback from 5-0 down. More bad news for the struggling Brewers. 2018 NL MVP Christian Yelich left Sunday's 8-6 loss to the Nationals with a hamstring injury, and the Brewers reportedly fear the worst. This week, the Reds host the Giants Tuesday through Thursday and are in Minnesota for 3 this weekend. And the Cubs are in Philly for 3 starting tonight at 6:40 and host the Mets for 3 over the weekend after having Thursday off. Every team in baseball except for the 11-4 Dodgers are somewhere between 6 and 10 wins and 7 and 10 losses. Over the weekend, Tampa swept the Yankees and the surprising A's swept the Mets. In college softball, IU swept Purdue 4-1, 5-1, and 9-0 over the weekend. The 31-10 Hoosiers host Notre Dame on Tuesday. IU baseball went 1-2 against last-place Maryland, and Purdue baseball swept Northwestern 11-3, 3-2 in 10 innings, and 8-3. The Boilermakers now 25-10 overall and 12-6 and 4th in the Big Ten, behind only unbeaten UCLA, 12-3 Nebraska, and 13-5 USC. The Boilermakers host Miami of Ohio on Tuesday. The Hoosiers are in Terre Haute to face ISU Tuesday as well. And in college football, the Purdue Spring Showcase was held Saturday, the final of 15 spring practices for the Boilermakers, who went 2-10 in Barry Odom's first season last year in Lafayette. Early Monday, Jackie Ryder, a quarterback from Winnetka, Illinois, tweeted that he's committed to Odom and the Boilermakers. He was reportedly also considering Arizona State, Northern Illinois, North Texas, and Toledo. We'll have more on Purdue spring football and any other transfer news that we may have from college basketball on Wednesday's Purdue Report with Jake Dunn. The Indy Ignite returned home to the Fishers Event Center Sunday evening and proved their MLV best record at 19-4 with a 25-19, 28-26, 27-25 win over the Atlanta Vibe. The Ignite now have 53 points, 6 better than the Dallas Pulse for the league's best record. Indy's at Grand Rapids on Friday, a game that can be seen on YouTube or locally on WTHR, before Sunday's home showdown with Dallas. We'll talk with my friend and Ignite PA guy, Aaron Pittman, about the Ignite later this week. Ty Gibbs won his first career NASCAR Cup Series race Sunday at Bristol, outdueling Ryan Blaney and Kyle Larson. It's the 131st career win for Joe Gibbs Racing. The series is in Kansas Sunday at 2 on Fox this week. That will be followed immediately by the IndyCar race at Long Beach at 5:30. We will preview the IndyCar race on the IndyCar Report with Elijah Poe on Thursday. Some local news and notes. Lapel star basketball player Tyler Cash is reportedly committed to Hanover, according to Recruit Productions. Ball State's men's volleyball team won its 24th MIVA regular season championship by sweeping Loyola 25-22, 25-20, and 25-16 on Saturday at Worthen Arena. And Talia Goodman of On3 Sports reports that former Lawrence Central star Jayla Lampley will transfer from Mississippi State to Rutgers. 7-1 UConn transfer Eric Reeby is down to 3 college choices: Kentucky, BYU, and IU. Also, Notre Dame's Marcus Burton and Alabama's Aiden Sherrill visited Bloomington over the weekend and are considering Darren DeVries' IU Hoosiers. North Dakota State transfer Trayson Anderson is committed to Butler, and former IU women's star Navia Caffey has committed to Missouri. And some national news and notes. Illinois star Keaton Wagler has declared for the NBA draft. Tankathon has him as the 6th overall pick going to Memphis as of this morning. Louisville has landed the top 2 players in the transfer portal, at least by my rankings. Kokomo's Flory Badunga and Jackson Shelstad of Oregon, who's the best guard in the transfer portal when he's healthy, which he was not last year. Denver won the Frozen Four in men's college hockey, and the Greensboro Swarm, the farm team of the Charlotte Hornets, won the NBA G League title, completing a final sweep of the Stockton Kings with a 119-104 victory on Friday evening. And my friends and I will be back tomorrow. Please join us. The Central Indiana Sports Report is a product of ITG Media, and I love Susie.